tool used against those who threaten the status quo by those who pathologically guard their power and control. For writers who experienced the scourge of World War II and the advance of fascism, exposing the weaponizing of fear became urgent, as it now is for us as we approach the end of the first quarter of the 21st century. If they can keep you in an unthinking fear loop, they can stop you from questioning or confronting them about the damage they heap onto society. There is one necessary component for the left's agenda to be successful: the annihilation of the ordinary person's personal courage, the trait required to withstand danger and fear. When courage is lost, with it goes the willingness to confront the powerful and malevolent. It is this conjuring of ancient, mindless fear that tyrants have perfected through millennia, propelling us into actions and decision-making based on emotion, absent the mediators of logic and reason. It is not about distracting us with frightening event after frightening event, but indoctrinating us into a perpetual fear-based new normal. It's an exhausting state, creating anxiety, paranoia, and with it, a retreat from social and political life. The goal of killing our minds, turning us into fear-driven automatons, lacking confidence and courage, willing to bow and conform, is the putrid soup served up by the Marxists, tyrants, bullies, and bureaucracies, preferring that all of us stay out of their way. The deliberate strategy of using fear as a weapon of control dates back to ancient times, but modern communications and other technological tools give the fearmongers power unimaginable in years past. Marxist bullies and the malignant narcissists occupying positions of power throughout our governmental and cultural infrastructure are using fear to distract, depress, isolate, and mentally disarm us. And sadly, they're succeeding. But I have a secret for you, and this book will reveal it in great detail. The left is weak, and they know it. Their only hope for success is keeping you distracted and too afraid to look up. Having once been on the left, I can tell you that every ounce of so-called progressive energy is spent on keeping us manipulated, brainwashed, and afraid. Every day, every project, every action is required to maintain the fraud of this leftist fear-mongering. Killing our minds is the singular goal for the left, and it's a 24/7 effort. You may hear this and think, that's not me. I'm not afraid. However, you may have friends or family who are like this. They are probably longtime Democrats, and you have watched them move from classically liberal to seeing everything through a haze of hysterical, apocalyptic talking points. Progressives are desperate for us to believe that we are the problem, that America is the problem, and most of all, that any and all dissent from their orthodoxy must be quashed. Why? Because leftist ideology is a house of cards. The only way to maintain it is to either imprison their opposition or, at the very least, imprison the minds of those who object. The answer to our dilemma starts with understanding that fear itself is natural, but weaponizing fear is an unnatural construct. That fear is a constantly used tool to specifically keep us from inquiring or questioning. It is a method that is so refined and has been used for so long that being constantly afraid in various degrees feels natural and normal. But it's not. Killing our minds, creating such despair through fear that we abandon any sense of hope, passion, or drive to be involved in the course of our lives is not an easy thing to do. The plan is weakened the moment we become aware of the agenda and the tactics involved, making us immediately less vulnerable to the fear-mongering meant to start our spiral into anxiety and confusion. We are seen by the bureaucratic state as pawns to be kept poor, ignorant, and afraid. Our overcoming this assault starts with information, and it starts now. By the end of this book, it will be clear to you how we can and will overcome this modern catastrophe of the Marxist state in America. The catastrophic reaction by our government and the left-wing media in response to the COVID-19 pandemic illustrates my central argument.